She thought it was just a date from Tinder, but by the time she realized what was happening, the doors had no handles on the inside. What started with a swipe turned into a nightmare she almost didn't survive. I've always been careful. I never gave out my address, never shared personal stuff too fast, and always met dates in public places. But one night, I let my guard down, and it changed everything. It started on a Wednesday. I was new to the city, had just moved to Portland for a new job and didn't know anyone. The loneliness crept in faster than I expected. So, like everyone else these days, I downloaded Tinder. Swipe, swipe, swipe. Mostly weirdos, a few gym bros, one guy holding a fish. And then I saw him. Lee. Clean cut, 6 feet 2 inches, short dark hair, wearing a hoodie and smiling like he actually meant it. His bio said, paramedic, into hiking, horror movies, and making people laugh, no games. We matched instantly. His first message wasn't some cheesy pickup line. He said, I just moved here from Seattle, still figuring this place out, want to show me around? We chatted for hours. He was smart, funny, and seemed genuinely interested in what I had to say. We both liked the same obscure horror movies. He sent me a photo of his dog, Max, and even told me about how he once fainted during paramedic training. It felt real. By Friday, I agreed to meet him. He offered to pick me up, but I insisted we meet at a coffee shop downtown. He respected that, didn't push. But the night before our date, he texted me, my car's in the shop, but I still want to see you. If I cover the Uber, would you want to come to me? We can walk to a restaurant near my place. That should have been a red flag. But he'd been so respectful, so normal. I checked his socials again, Instagram, Facebook, everything lined up. Even mutual friends in the area. I agreed. Saturday evening. I wore a black dress and denim jacket. Outside my apartment, a silver Toyota Corolla pulled up. I hesitated before getting in. The driver wasn't Lee. It was an older man with a rideshare sticker on the dashboard. I slid into the back seat. The driver confirmed my name. Going to Linton, right? He asked. Linton was a quiet, woodsy neighborhood northwest of the city. A little far, but not isolated. I texted Lee, on my way. He replied instantly, can't wait. We pulled up to a charming 2-story house with pine trees surrounding it. Lee was waiting on the porch, waving. He looked just like his photos, maybe even better in person. He hugged me gently, complimented my dress, and apologized again about the car. I figured we could take a little walk, he said. There's a hidden gem restaurant just 10 minutes away. Sounded romantic. We started down a quiet trail behind his neighborhood. The sun was low, casting long shadows across the mossy ground. The woods were silent except for the crunch of our footsteps and the occasional bird call. It was peaceful, almost too peaceful. I tried to pull out my phone to snap a picture, but no bars. Ha, I muttered. No signal out here, he said casually. Dead zone, weird, right? I laughed nervously. We kept walking. 10 minutes passed. Then 15. Then 20. No sign of a restaurant. No street lights. Just trees and darkness. Hey, how much farther is it? I asked, trying to keep my tone light. Not far, he said. Something in his voice shifted. Less friendly. Flatter. I stopped walking. Actually, I think I'd rather head back, I said. He turned to face me. Smiled. But his eyes were wrong, like the smile didn't reach them. You're already here, he said softly. Might as well stay for dinner. I stepped back. Lee, I want to go back. Now. He didn't move. Just looked at me. Okay, he said finally, and turned around. We started walking back in silence, but the trail didn't look the same. Twists I didn't remember. The trees were too close together, and it felt like we were going deeper into the woods. I turned to ask him something, but he was gone. My breath caught in my throat. I spun around, heart racing. "Lee," I called out. Silence. Branches cracked behind me. I whipped around. Nothing. "Lee, this isn't funny." Still nothing. And then, I heard it. Breathing. Low, slow, right behind me. I turned, and saw nothing. Just trees. But the breathing continued. I ran. I crashed through the underbrush, scraped my hands on thorns, barely seeing through the dark. At one point, I tripped and hit the ground hard. My phone dead. Not just no signal, dead. When I finally saw the edge of a house through the trees, I sobbed with relief. Lights. A porch. I ran toward it, heart hammering, and stopped. It wasn't his house. It was another one. One that looked abandoned. The windows were dark. The door was open. I don't know why I stepped inside. Maybe I thought someone was there. Maybe I just didn't want to be alone. The air smelled like mold and something metallic. And then I saw it, a Polaroid photo, pinned to the wall with a rusty nail. A woman, terrified, eyes wide. Underneath it, a word scribbled in marker, number 16. That's when I heard the front door creak shut behind me. And a voice whisper, "You're even prettier in person." This story seems to be getting scarier, doesn't it? If you want more stories like this, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. This helps create even more scary for you. I didn't turn around right away. My body froze, every instinct screaming at me not to move, not to breathe. That voice, soft, calm, and close, was unmistakable. "Lee, you brought me here?" I managed to whisper. He didn't answer, just walked past me, slow and casual, like we were on a date again. "Come on," he said, motioning deeper into the house. "It's not safe outside." I wanted to run, to scream, to bolt out the door. But the forest behind me now felt even more dangerous than the man in front of me. So I followed him. Not because I trusted him, but because I didn't know what else to do. The inside of the house looked like it had been abandoned for years. Dust caked every surface, wallpaper peeled from the walls, and the air had that thick, suffocating stillness that buildings get when they've been forgotten. Lee walked like he knew the place well. No hesitation, no confusion. He moved toward a narrow hallway in the back and opened a door. A faint light spilled out, yellow, dim, flickering. I followed. What I saw inside didn't make sense at first. The room looked clean. A small bed, a chair, a tray with bottled water and crackers, a bucket in the corner, a phone charger plugged into the wall. My skin went cold. "This isn't some random house," I said slowly. "You've been here before." He turned to face me, and this time, he didn't smile. "No one ever listens to their gut anymore," he said. "You swiped right, you said yes, you got in the car, what did you think would happen?" My voice shook. "You tricked me," he tilted his head. "I didn't trick you, I gave you a chance. I was kind, respectful. You could have unmatched me." I backed up, but he blocked the doorway. "Please," I whispered. "Let me go," he sighed. "You'll be fine, you just need some time to adjust." He stepped out, closed the door, and I heard the click of a lock. The first hour, I screamed. I banged on the door, kicked it, threw everything I could find. No response. The second hour, I cried. The panic finally cracked me open, and I curled on the bed, shaking. By hour 3, I noticed the camera. It was tucked into the corner near the ceiling, small, black, barely visible. I stood up and stared into it. "Someone's going to find me," I said. "My friends will notice I'm gone." No reply, just the software of the lens adjusting its focus. The next day, I heard footsteps, keys jingling. The door opened, and Lee stood there with a plate of scrambled eggs and toast. "I don't eat food from strangers," I snapped. He laughed. "But we're not strangers anymore, Kayla." I sat silently as he set the food down. "I don't want to hurt you," he said, crouching to my eye level. "I've been alone a long time. I know how this looks, but if you just give it time, you'll understand. You kidnapped me." He shook his head slowly. "No, I brought you somewhere safe, where no one can ghost you, where no one can lie or cheat or pretend." Then he stood and walked out again. The days blurred together. He brought food twice a day. Sometimes he'd talk to me like we were still on a date. He'd ask questions about my favorite songs, what I liked in a guy, what my childhood was like. Other times, he'd just watch me through the camera. I started leaving it notes. "You're sick. You won't get away with this. You're going to jail." One morning, the note I left was gone, replaced by a photo. It was me, sleeping. The angle was close, taken right next to my bed. My blood went cold. He'd been in the room while I was asleep. That night, I didn't sleep at all. I sat on the edge of the bed, staring at the door, gripping the phone charger like a weapon. And around 3 a.m., I heard it. Whispers. 2 voices. One was Lee. The other was female. I pressed my ear to the door. "She's stronger than the last one," the woman said. "More defiant. She'll come around," Lee replied. The woman laughed softly. "Like I did." Lee didn't respond. The silence dragged on. Then footsteps. Then nothing. I had so many questions. Who was she? How many had come before me? The next morning, he brought me breakfast. I didn't touch it. Instead, I asked, "Who was the girl I heard last night?" He froze. His eyes narrowed. "You're not supposed to hear things." Then he turned and walked out, faster than usual. The door slammed harder. And this time, I didn't hear it lock. I waited. 10 minutes. Then 20. Still nothing. Quiet. I walked to the door and tried the knob. It turned. It was open. I stepped into the hallway. It was darker than I remembered. But I didn't care. I ran. I found the stairs, bolted down them, and headed for the front door. It was wide open. Moonlight spilled in through the trees. I ran across the overgrown yard, pushing past the pine branches, ignoring the thorns slicing my arms. I reached the road. Empty. Silent. But I didn't stop running. I made it maybe 50 feet before I saw headlights. A car. I threw myself into the middle of the road, waving my arms. The car slowed, pulled up beside me. The window rolled down. A woman leaned out. "You okay, honey?" she asked, eyes wide with concern. "I need help," I gasped. "He's keeping girls in that house, please. Call the police." She nodded. "Get in. I'll take you to the station." I climbed in, sobbing in relief. The car pulled forward, and as we turned down the road, I looked in the rearview mirror. She wasn't heading toward the city. She was driving deeper into the woods. I turned to her. "Where are we going?" Her face changed. The kindness drained away, and her lips curled into a sickening, familiar smile. "Back home," she whispered. "He gets nervous when they run too far." I didn't scream. Not because I wasn't terrified, but because I was frozen. My body locked up. My throat dry. My lungs tight. The woman driving was humming softly now, like she was proud of herself. "I didn't want to do this," she said, still watching the road. "But you made it hard. You could have just accepted it. He really liked you." My hands were on the door handle. I had no plan, no weapon, just raw panic. "You help him?" I choked out. She shrugged. "Everyone needs someone. He saved me once. Gave me purpose. I was like you, lost, angry. But now I have a home. You could have that too." I gritted my teeth. "By trapping people, by giving them what they deserve," she replied. The trees thickened. The road narrowed. I recognized the curve, the branches, the flickering shadows. We were almost back at that house. I looked at the speedometer, just under 30 miles per hour. Not fast. I made a choice. I unbuckled, threw the door open, and jumped. Pain exploded in my shoulder as I hit gravel and rolled. Everything went white for a second, But I got up, limping, bleeding, but moving. She slammed on the brakes behind me. I heard her yell, but I was already in the woods again. Branches tore at my skin. The cold air sliced through my lungs. Every step was agony, but I didn't stop. Somewhere, an owl hooted. A tree creaked. And in the distance, sirens? No! A truck. Headlights. I stumbled toward the road again. This time, the vehicle slowed, really slowed. A man rolled down the window. "You all right?" I barely managed a word. "Help." He brought me to the sheriff's station 10 miles out. I collapsed in the lobby. They gave me water, bandaged my shoulder, and listened as I tried to explain what happened. 2 officers went back out that night, but they didn't find the house. They said there was no structure matching the description in that part of the woods. No abandoned 2-story. No trace of anyone living there. Nothing. But I was there. I kept saying, "They're still there. He's still keeping someone." "You have to look harder." The sheriff, a broad man with a drooping mustache, gave me a long look. "We'll investigate further," he said. They never followed up. I didn't sleep that night. I was put up in a safe house, just for observation. Still shaken. Still shaking. The next morning, someone knocked at my door. I opened it to a young woman. Red hair, freckles, holding a paper coffee cup. "I saw your story on the scanner," she said. "My name's Bree. I think he took my sister." Her sister's name was Emma, 26. Went missing 6 months ago. Her last known location? A Tinder date. The guy claimed to be a paramedic. Used a fake name. Sound familiar? She showed me a picture of Emma. My blood ran cold. It was the girl in the Polaroid. The one on the wall. Terrified. Labeled number 16. "He keeps photos," I whispered. "I saw one. Emma's. He's done this before." Bree's eyes filled with tears. She sat down beside me. I tried to get the cops to care. They said she probably ran off. But I knew it wasn't that. "They're hiding it," I said. "Someone's covering for him." Her head snapped toward me. "You think the cops are in on it?" I didn't want to believe that. But how else do you lose a whole house? We started digging. Through public records, missing persons reports, even Reddit threads. Over the next week, we found them. 15 girls. All young. All vanished in the Portland area over the last 3 years. All matched with someone on Tinder. All with no resolution. It was like they'd vanished into thin air. We noticed patterns. Drop-off points in remote areas. Common mutuals on social media. A rideshare driver that showed up more than once, same make, same license plate. And one name that kept popping up in background tags, old friend lists, and forgotten comments, Lee. Or, at least, a guy using the name Lee. We didn't know who he really was. But Bree had an idea. "We match with him again," she said. "We set the trap." It took 3 weeks. 3 weeks of fake profiles, trial runs, and waiting. Finally, he bit. Matched with one of our burner accounts. Same style of texting. Same charm. Same slow build. He suggested a pickup. Same silver Corolla. We were ready. Bree handled the tracker. I waited in a surveillance car with binoculars. And when he pulled up to meet our fake profile at an empty park, we saw him. For the first time in daylight. He was wearing the same hoodie from his Tinder photos. Smiling. Bree called the cops. They never came. We followed him anyway. He drove deep into the woods. A different route. Different trees. Same creepy stillness. Eventually, he pulled up to nothing. Just an empty clearing. We watched as he stepped out. Walked to a tree. Knocked on the trunk 3 times. And then, the ground shifted. A door opened. From beneath the tree, he vanished into the earth. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. A bunker. A hidden one. Like something out of a nightmare. I looked at Bree. "We need to go in." She nodded. We grabbed flashlights and followed. The tree door was still open. Inside, stairs. Cold, steep, and narrow. We crept down, slow and silent. The air was damp, moldy. The walls, made of concrete. And then light. Not from above. From down here. We turned the corner, and found it. A hallway lined with rooms. Steel doors. Each one numbered. Some were open. Empty. But one wasn't. We heard crying. We opened it carefully, and saw her. A girl. Thin, pale, terrified. But alive. Not Emma. Someone new. She looked up at us and whispered. He said I was number 18. We didn't have time to cry. Or to fall apart. The girl, #18, was shivering in the corner, her voice barely above a whisper. How long have you been here? Bree asked, kneeling beside her. I don't know. Weeks, months. She shook her head, eyes wide. He told me if I behaved, I could leave, but none of them ever left. That line stuck with me. None of them ever left. We helped her up. Bree gave her a coat. I tried not to show how badly my hands were shaking. We needed to go. Now. I peeked down the hall again. Still quiet. No sign of Lee. No sound. Until, clang. A metal door slammed shut somewhere deeper in the bunker. He knew. We ran. The girl's legs were weak, but adrenaline gave her strength. We made it to the stairs, almost there, when I heard his voice behind us. You ruined it, Kayla. I turned. He stood at the end of the hallway. But he wasn't alone. The woman from the car was with him. And behind them, another girl. Bound. Blindfolded. Number 19. He smiled. You just made space for her. I wanted to scream. Instead, I charged him. I didn't think. Didn't plan. I just ran at him with everything I had. He caught me mid-stride, slammed me into the wall. The flashlight clattered across the floor. You were supposed to be different, he hissed. I am, I spat, kicking him in the knee. He staggered. Bree jumped and smashed a pipe she'd found across the woman's arm. The girl screamed. Chaos erupted. In the dark, I grabbed the blindfolded girl, #19, and pulled her toward the stairs. Bree was right behind us. Lee shouted, but we didn't look back. We burst into the cold night air, gasping. Bree's car was hidden down the trail. We threw the girls inside and peeled out. No one followed. We didn't go to the local sheriff. We didn't trust them. Instead, we drove all night to Portland and went straight to the FBI. We gave them everything, the tracker logs, photos, recordings, the coordinates, the girls, our story. For once, they listened. Within 48 hours, the area was locked down. They found the bunker. Empty. Cleared out. Cleaned. Like they were never there. But they found one thing we didn't. A buried chest behind the tree. Inside, Polaroids. Dozens of them. Each labeled with a number. Some we recognized. Some we didn't. But the last one, #19, was blank. Just a photo of a hallway. Waiting to be filled. They launched a nationwide manhunt for Lee and the woman. No arrests yet. But there were sightings. Hints. Like he wanted us to know he was still out there. A year has passed. I moved states. Changed my name. Bree did the same. We keep in touch, mostly through burner emails. The girls we saved, #18 and number 19, are in witness protection. Still recovering. And the rest? Still missing. Sometimes I still open Tinder. Not to match. Just to look. To remind myself how easy it is. To fall into a trap. All it takes is one swipe. One charming smile. One wrong ride. If you're listening to this, check your matches. Check your gut. And please, don't go missing quietly. Don't forget to like, comment your thoughts on this terrifying story, and subscribe for more spine-chilling horror tales.